Well, hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar entitled Keeping Your Marbles. And yes, this is like a course that my team and I have been working on for the past, wow, about a year now. No, it's more like 2 years. Yes, I've done a few presentations, and I know it's sort of like a corny name. Yes, keeping your marbles as opposed to losing them. But I just thought it'd be something that we wanted something that people could remember more easily. So that's what it's called, keeping your marbles. And basically, as the title implies, it's all about knowing what to do to maintain your brain health well into your 80s and 90s and beyond. I speak at senior centers around the country, well, senior centers around the city, Baltimore City, which, by the way, is number one in the nation when it comes to dementia. We have the highest rates of dementia of any other city or county. Plus, Maryland is number one of all the 50 states for dementia. And of course, again, Maryland or Baltimore has the most number of Blacks with dementia, or the highest rates of Black African Americans with dementia. So ground zero is right here in Baltimore. And if we're going to win the fight against dementia, we're going to win it, or the battle lines will have to be drawn here. And it's a good place too, because you have some of the best medical centers, the smartest minds, smartest brains here, and they're doing a lot of research here. So the biggest problems are here, but I feel the biggest solutions are here as well. So we're going to be going into some of the reasons why Blacks have it worse, but really reasons why anyone, anywhere comes down with dementia, whether you're in China or Brazil or Nigeria, where I'm from, or the USA. It's not that big a mystery. I mean, the people are making it out to be like this huge mystery that nobody knows anything about. And I got to tell you, from what we're seeing, there are certain, very clear-cut pathways to dementia. And if you look at people who have dementia, if you look over their past 10, 15, 2, 3, 4 decades, you can actually see the clues that led to them having dementia. And I know it's a bad thing. I'm not blaming anybody for it, but we can see what are the causes in many cases, what causes dementia. And I treat people with dementia in Nigeria, and I do a lot of telemedicine as well. So when we get into the history, when we start talking to people about it, we actually begin to see things. All right, if you're joining us, please let us know. Type in the comment box so we can know that we are coming across. I see some people have already joined already. So please, by all means, type in that I'm here and let us know where you are logging in from. Today's Wednesday, right? I believe it is. Yeah, so Wednesday is keeping your marbles. So let us know where you're calling in from, and then we shall get moving. Okay, we'll probably have to move on. Thank you. Let's know where you're calling in from. Okay, let's see. Hi, Gloria. Gloria Opong. Thank you for joining us on the call today. Yes, we are talking about, hey, Gloria, from Montreal, Canada. Sherika, is it genetic? I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, indeed. Hey, Thelma. It is genetic to some degree. Now, if you're asking, are you going to get it if you have the genes for it, no matter what you do? I would say about less than 5% of cases is it due solely to genetics, as in the person just was unfortunate, the wrong roll of the dice. When they turn 40, 50, they start having dementia. And usually it starts earlier if it's genetic. If it's, for the vast majority of people, 95%, there are clear lifestyle factors that lead to dementia. Again, this is not to blame anybody at all for it, but that is the truth. There are very, very clear lifestyle factors. Oh, hey, Rawa Haley. This we're talking about. The title is keeping your marbles. And basically, it's talking about dementia and how to keep your brain healthy and strong all the way into your 80s and 90s. Now, It's not just about preventing dementia. It's about keeping your brain healthy. That's why we don't talk, we're not just saying dementia, because a lot of things can happen to your brain. Unfortunately, there can be strokes, there can be Parkinson's disease, there can be other kinds of dementia like frontotemporal dementia. There can be autoimmune conditions like multiple sclerosis. A lot of things can affect the brain. So what we're talking about is a much wider program when it comes. And like I said, we at the beginning, we're talking about keeping your marbles is a course that my team and I have put together. We shall be releasing it in a few weeks, and we'll be going. It's a 90-day course. You're welcome to join. There is a fee for it, obviously, and this is where we go in depth, because it's not enough just to do a 30-minute call here and a 1-hour call there and just answer a few questions. People need to be taken by the hand. This is my experience now. People need to be taken by the hand and walked step by step. This is what affects your brain. This is what makes your brain worse. This is what improves your brain. This is in your sleep, in your waking times, what you eat, how you deal with stress, whether or not you enjoy your work, your relationships with your spouse or your significant other, and with other loved ones, and with the wider world, the world at large. All those things affect your brain, including toxins, what you inhale, like I said, what you put in your mouth, what you taking through your lungs, what you're taking through your skin, through your hair. We're now beginning to see and hear of many instances in which the most recent one that has come to light now has to do with hair care products, especially relaxers that have higher concentrations of toxic chemicals for Black women. I don't know if you know this, but those chemicals are much higher because Black women need more to straighten out their hair, and not realizing that the more toxins, the more of those hair care products you put on your hair and on your skin, the more toxins you put on your body. And so I believe there's some lawsuits that are beginning to come out now on different groups suing the manufacturers of these products because it is causing, unfortunately, all kinds of cancer. Okay, you do puzzles. Sharika says, I took care of my mother who had it, and I had to learn a lot about it. I do puzzles, read, and don't try to overwhelm myself. Very good, Sharika. And I hope you are teaching others as well. Yeah, helping others understand what it's all about. Yes, please say yes. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to start with this. I believe I have some slides. No, I'll tell you what, but probably should I show slides? Yes, I'll show slides just to give you an example, just to give you what we're talking about. Okay, window. All right, I believe you're seeing my screen now. Oops, that's not what I wanted to see. Yeah, there you go. It took me to the last one. Why? Okay. By the way, I feel I need to put this down. The Alzheimer's Association is a wonderful association, and they are available 24/7 free of charge. That's their information. 800-272-3900. 800-272-3900. Alzheimer's.org is their organization, is the website. So the three groups that have dementia twice as much as the rest of the population are military veterans, blacks, and women. So military veterans, blacks, and women. Why do they have it so much worse? It's the same reason that I will say for whatever. Anytime anyone comes down with dementia, there are only three reasons. One, and I believe I have it here, there are greater attacks or assaults on the brain. The brain, over a period of time, is exposed to much more attacks, which lead to damage. Number two, there is less protection, or the defenses are weaker defenses. And number three, they are least likely to seek medical attention. And by that I mean, even if they seek, even when they don't, let me put it this way, you don't get prompt medical attention when things start to go wrong. Or maybe having memory lapses, maybe you're having mood disturbances, maybe you're not able to think like you used to, and it's affecting your work. Those require medical attention, and it requires the right kind of medical attention for them to look, to do the labs, to do the tests, the right kind of tests, and to ascertain what is going on. And it's not just about the brain, it's about your blood chemistry, it's about your body as a whole. So there are certain tests that need to be done. Now, there are about 7 of them that we discussed that you absolutely need to do. People should be doing those tests anyway, but when things start to go wrong, it's vital that you test these things, because those 7 things are the major culprits when it comes to dementia. And unfortunately, we don't see many healthcare professionals actually testing for these things. So those are the 3 things. If we are going to keep our marbles, if we're going to protect our brains, it just follows that we have to learn how to reduce the attacks or avoid those attacks altogether. Number 2, increase or strengthen our defenses so that even if the attacks are successful, they make their way through to the brain, at least the protections are in place to reduce the impact of those attacks. And number 3, we're going to have to teach people how to have a really good relationship, or at least intelligence about and knowledge about what questions to ask their healthcare professional, their primary healthcare provider, what tests to do on a yearly basis, so that you can have an idea of how healthy your brain is. By the way, it's not enough. It is not enough just to go to your doctor, they run tests, and the doctor says, you're fine. No, you can't accept that. You have to ask him, what exactly are my results? What are my vitamin D levels? That's a big one. Don't let a doctor say you're fine and you go away. Vitamin D levels are a huge range from 30 to 100. Most doctors will see if you're like 28, 29, 30, they'll say you're fine. You are not fine. Those numbers should be closer to 100 than 30. 30 helps with your bones. It can help to protect your bones, but at 30, your brain is not very well protected. And as we know, your brain absolutely needs vitamin D to protect it, and it needs high levels of vitamin D to protect it. So that is the solution in a nutshell, and we can show you how to, again, reduce the attacks. And basically, the only way you're going to be able to reduce attacks is by knowing where those attacks, being conscious and intelligent as to where those attacks coming from. What are these risks? What are these threats to my brain? And how can I avoid them on a day-to-day basis? Number 2, first of all, what is in place? What is in place that my brain uses to protect itself? Then number 2, how can I strengthen what is already on ground? Because I guarantee you those defenses need help. We're being bombarded by all kinds of toxins every single day. So you need those defenses would be really grateful if you helped to strengthen the defenses. And of course, again, number 3, you need to know what tests to run and how to take and what medications to take so that the attacks are reduced. And I've discussed some of them in the past. Things like high blood pressure, high blood sugar are the key things, especially when it comes to African Americans. We tend to have less ability, and this is almost genetically, to control our blood sugar levels, and we tend to have higher blood pressure levels. And of course, we have low vitamin D. Those are the 3 things. So those first 2 constitute attacks on the brain. The third one is more like a weakness. The third one is for protection from damage. Vitamin D helps to protect your brain from damage. And if your vitamin D levels are low, then you're not going to get much results. So I'm going to switch it back to the screen, and let's see if there are any questions. If not, we'll just progress. Okay, all right. Any questions? So your responsibility, or should I say your mission, should you choose to accept it, is again, those 3. I want to hammer these things in. Reduce the attacks or the assaults or the insults on your brain. We all have them. Number 2, improve your defenses. And number three, be sure that you're taking your medications, or be sure you know your numbers so that you can ensure that the numbers are right. Okay. Sherika says, I just don't know any other way to get more vitamin D other than a pill. And you may be right. Especially if it's in the winter. In the winter, you are not. There are only two ways by which your body effectively gets vitamin D. One, through the sun, and that's through exposure of your skin to the sun. Not in the car, not through the windows, not through the glass. You actually have to be outside in the sun to get vitamin D. And like we've said before, black people have a natural sunscreen, so we have to stay in the sun even longer. And my experience is that black people don't necessarily like to stay in the sun that much. I mean, it's a great mystery of life that we blacks that need the sun the most tend to avoid the sun, enjoy the sun, avoid the sun the most. I don't get it. Can anybody explain that to me? I mean, Sherika, maybe you have an idea. Why do we avoid the sun so much? Sherika, I'm waiting for an answer from you. You sound like you seem like you know the answer to that. So during the winter, we are not, even the sun is in Baltimore, the sun is really kind of bright these days. But even at that, the rays that we need to make vitamin D from the sun are not reaching the earth adequately during the winter. So we're not getting enough, even if we were outside in the sun, butt naked. Forgive me for saying that. Even if we were outside in the sun, we would not be getting or making enough vitamin D. So there's only one other option. Forget food. There's no way you're going to get enough vitamin D from food. The only other option is to take supplements, vitamin D3 supplements. And I don't know why that's controversial for people. To me, hey D, welcome. Maybe because we tan quickly. We tan? Do we tan quickly? Huh? No, I'm not sure. Any other ideas? Why is it that we black people don't like being in the sun? I don't get my color back until the winter, so I run from it in the spring and summer. Shirka says you run from the sun during the spring and the summer because you don't get your color back until the winter. So you that's an interesting thing. So you don't like getting darker during the summer. Okay, so you don't like getting darker. That's why we run from the sun. Okay, Anna, I mean, that kind of makes sense. But how much darker can you possibly be, really? I mean, there is like in my opinion, there's a narrow window by which you get darker. It's not like after a while you become pitch dark, right? So I guess, all right. So I can see that. Any other reasons why we blacks avoid the sun? Perhaps we are so attached to being light skinned that we don't want to get darker at all. Okay. Hey, it's Joy. I am in Florida. Okay. Well, you're in Florida, so you should be getting a lot of sun. So ducks. Yeah, but do men act that way too? I wouldn't suppose that men avoid the sun because they don't want to get darker. I think it's more of a woman issue that you don't want to get too tan or get too dark. But men avoid this. In my experience, men cover up as well. Are they afraid of getting too dark as well? Huh. Fear of skin cancer. Oh, Anna, come on. Fear of skin cancer? So then why is it that the whites who are more likely to have skin cancer? Listen, I started my career as an oncologist, a cancer doctor. I can tell you this, when I was in Nigeria, we almost never had skin cancer cases. The only skin cancer cases we used to have were those from the albinos. So we almost never had it. And everybody was out in the sun a lot. So I'm not sure that's a good answer. And there's a fear of sunburn as well. Some people say sunburn or sunburn. White people get more sunburn than black people do. So I don't get that one. Yeah, exactly. Men do not care really, but men avoid the sun. So it's not just women that avoid the sun. Okay. Yeah, Anna. Yeah, possible reasons. Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Anna. Thank you. All right. So Anna says she loves the sun. Okay. Good. Please, when it's springtime and summer, please go out in the sun. I don't know if you know this about Baltimore, but Baltimore has among the top 5 best parks in the nation. Best parks, PARKS. So I guess Central Park in New York is probably among the top 2. I know somewhere in St. Louis, and I think in San Diego Park too is big. Balboa Park, but Baltimore's up there among top 5. And Baltimore is 65% black. So we have a lot of black people in Baltimore. When I go to the park in the spring and summer, I almost never see black people. I see a lot of white people, see a lot of Hispanics. Well, the only black people I see are the ones playing basketball, the kids playing basketball, or maybe soccer. But in terms of lots of people, I mean, the ratio, you would think that being 65% black, you would see a lot of black people in the parks. And I'm telling you, I don't see it. So that to me is a big issue. I'm like, it's a big mystery. Hey, Crystal, Aku, nice to dare you. Okay, hi, how are you? I cannot wait to stand in it and absorb the warmth. I am just giving. Okay, good. All right. So, are we clear now? So when we talk about the 3 reasons that cause dementia, the idea is that we're going to each one each one you can really go for days or even weeks talking about each topic, whether it's greater assaults or fewer defenses. There's a huge amount of information under those things. So it's really important that we address this little by little, because people are in different circumstances. Some people are, I don't know, they live in toxic areas. Some people are very stressed. Some people have obviously experienced a lot of racial prejudice, and these are things that affect them in their psyche. Some people have been exposed to sexual violence, unfortunately, and so all these things are things that can weaken your brain over time, and it can make you more vulnerable to attacks in the future. So it's important that if you know that these things are in your history, it's important to be able to do something about protecting and probably even healing, using things that heal and repair your brain. And that's why we talk about these things in our upcoming course called Keeping Your Marbles. Obviously, if you need to speak to me or if you want to have a consultation, you can reach out to me, you can DM me. I'm on the social media platforms. But please, I was on a call on Monday. I was speaking to another group, and the lady was a grandmother, and she said her granddaughter fell down, hit her head against the stairs, and had to be rushed to the hospital. She's back at school now, but she's experiencing headaches. She's not sleeping well. She's having a lot of light sensitivity, and I believe she vomited a few times. All those are major red signs to me. And the doctors are like, well, we've done the MRI scans, we've done the tests, she's fine. Well, she's not fine. Now, it's a good thing she's 10 years old because she has greater capacity to recover. But you can't just say she's fine. There might be something going on underneath that can suddenly rear its ugly head and cause problems. So please don't think if there's something that's happened, be sure to some of the things we always talk about: take vitamin D, take omega-3s. Even if you don't suspect anything, to be a good idea as a safeguard to take things like omega-3s and vitamin D and other brain supplements that will help that brain recover. The brain always needs help, and when it's been damaged or when there's an injury like that, you should, without any prompting, you should be giving the brain those major things. And the other things too we talk about that help to rebuild and strengthen your brain. But very, very important, you should be focused on strengthening your brain, and we talk about those things as well. Alrighty, so this has been great. Thank you for your time today. We had a very the audience wasn't all that much today, but sometimes we have a lot of people, sometimes we don't. But we appreciate your time. I'm going to sign off here since there are no questions I've seen so far. No other questions. Sherika, thank you for your contribution, and the rest of you too. Anna, thank you for your contributions, and everyone else. So God bless. Take care. We will see you next week. Alrighty. Bye. Thank you, Sharika.